community leader?
We don't have one yet. He just left yesterday.
Who was it?
Shannon.
Tell me your first name.
Yes.
Justin? Where you from?
Appaloosa.
What you using? Right. How you doing the cocaine?
Sorry.
You snorting it, smoking it, all the above? How many times you been to treatment? Once? Where? Okay, what year? Okay,
June 21.
finished it? You
Um,
finished Vermilion?
I just went for 3 days.
Okay. So really no treatment. Okay. So this is your first go around in treatment? You've struck the mother load. If you want some help. Do you? Okay. You know, when somebody tells me they want some help, when you suggest something to them, you know what they say? If anything I suggest to you has to be 1,000 times better than what you suggest to you. I'm gonna tell you the truth about some shit. Most alcoholics, untreated, don't like the truth. They can't stand the truth. Start hitting them with the truth, they do one of two things. They get mad as hell or they just laugh it off. So, smoking it? How long you been smoking it? When's the first time you ever did cocaine? What year?
29.
Okay. When did you start smoking it? I hear it plug up a fucking hitter nowadays. What's your favorite drink?
Vodka.
Okay. And they sort of go hand in hand?
It was, but I started doing more of the drinking, come down off the cocaine.
Fine. Okay. What's your first name? Jonathan? Where you from, Jonathan?
Springfield, Louisiana.
So you ain't got far to walk if you walk.
No, I don't have anyone in Springfield anymore. I left Springfield quite a while ago.
What are you using?
Heroin, fentanyl, crack, much daily. Anything else that gets me high.
How many times have you been to treatment?
About 5 or 6 times. I've been here once. Walked out after 3 days because it was the first time I've ever been someone that was serious in that business.
And they asked us why a lot of people leave here, and that's why.
That's why it's real tough.
They don't really want help.
You're right.
So where else have you been?
I completed the Grove about 6 months ago.
Okay.
And day I got my IOP certificate. Passed my drug test. Drank a little shooter.
You got to celebrate.
You know? And up until that point, you know, that 5-month period, I was doing the thing and I could, you know, saw. And,
So when did you come here for those couple of days? When was that?
probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm not exactly sure, man, honestly.
So since then, you've been to how many places?
Since the Woodlake
The Grove, where else?
Grove, I've been to Abbeville. I've been to down south, Morgan City somewhere.
Okay.
I've been back
Let
then.
me ask you this, every time you go to treatment, while you're there, what do they tell you to do? Go to meetings?
Honestly, anytime I've been to treatment, I wasn't there for me.
But I didn't ask
I'm
you.
not
that.
really sure what they told me.
Well, if you've been with us, I know what we told you.
Yeah.
We said go to meetings, get a sponsor,
Mhm.
and do the steps. In any legitimate treatment center, they'll tell you that. We just do it a little different. We don't just tell you, we show you. Yeah. Now, why won't you do those three things? There's a proof's in the pudding. If you did those three things, you'd quit ending up in these places. So my question is, why won't you?
Just get stuck in old ways, think I got it.
Fine. You get it. You just don't get what you think you're gonna get. And you get a rude awakening instead of a spiritual one. So you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First name, young man.
James,
Where are you from?
well,
What part?
7th Ward, Mid City area, by the racetrack.
What you use?
Heroin and cocaine at the same time. Keep on.
Say heroin again?
Heroin.
You ain't from New Orleans.
I'm from New Orleans.
Where? You were born and raised there?
Supposed to, I guess I'm supposed to say heroin. That's
Well, close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I got out of New Orleans for a while. So
Okay.
I lost the accent.
You ever been to treatment?
Lost
What's lots of times? They call a minute a long time now.
it. I mean, at least 20.
Tell me some of the places you've been.
Ridge House, Odyssey House, Red River, Lincoln Nova, Woodlake, Abbeville, Woodlake Park, here.
When did you come here?
I came here for a few days,
And
last
you
year.
left? So why'd you want to come back?
But I went to Woodlake, Abbeville, and really immersed myself in it, and got out and did what they told me to do, and finally achieved like some real recovery and some peace and
So
serenity.
what happened?
I stopped.
Then you didn't do what they said,
I did it for a little while.
but they didn't tell you to do it for a little while. So you didn't do what they said. So every treatment center you've been to, and you say 20,
Probably more than that. But
most everyone's told you the same thing?
yeah, but I don't know. Woodlake just broke it down in a way that I finally
Now,
understood.
I agree with, that's one thing we'll agree on, okay? But let me ask you this. I get one or two things out of somebody that's been to treatment more than once. One, they must love treatment centers. Is that the case with you?
Complicated question. Do I love treatment? Do I enjoy it? No. But,
Okay.
But does the
Okay.
addict in me know that they're always there if I need them? Yes.
But that's two different things. That's two completely different things. Now, if you don't love treatment centers and you keep going, it's gotta be the second. You know what the second one is? You keep doing what you wanna do. When you wanna do it and how you wanna do it. And look, nobody can stop you from doing that. Judge can't, probation officer, mom, kids, wifey, food. Nobody can make you stop doing what you want to do except. And what normally makes a person like me and you stop doing what we want to do, we get sick and freaking just fed up with the results we've been getting. Some people can take more of an ass kicking than others. And some fight it all the way to the grave. Now, this will work if you quit doing what you want to do. And it absolutely won't work if you keep doing what you want to do. Now, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. So when did you come here?
November.
November. And did you finish?
I
Or you
left.
left?
I left the last week.
You know, A lot of you guys that come here and leave, I get my ass ringed because I can't keep y'all here. And then they call me to beg for y'all to come back, and I have to say, well, yeah, because if I don't, you die, I gotta live with that. So what's gonna be different this time?
I'm actually gonna be open to. I've never done this over.
How long did you stay last time?
Like 24 days.
Yeah, long enough for us to screw you up.
Oh, yeah.
Because your using days weren't fun when you left here.
No, they haven't been for years.
They really wasn't last time you pick it back up. Which is one thing I know about somebody that's been through here. Once they get something in their hand, they go, fuck, that ain't gonna be enough. They could have like a kilo and then we go, that ain't gonna be enough. First name?
Brad.
Brett?
Brad.
Brad. Where you from, Brad?
Prairieville.
What you use?
Methamphetamine.
How? That's it? Just smoking, snorting?
Occasionally, IV.
Okay. You been to treatment before?
One time.
Where?
Walton and, Warren.
Incarcerated? What year?
Hurricane Katrina came like 3 months after I got out of there.
Because at some point in time, that wasn't a bad program. Why are you here? What happened? Something happened.
Court order.
There's no such of a thing.
Well.
In Louisiana, there's no such of a thing as a court order.
Okay.
They give you a choice. They
Yeah,
say,
choice.
go to treatment.
I asked for treatment.
They say go to treatment or,
Yeah.
and you have a choice.
Yeah.
And you chose
Treatment.
what kind of legals you got?
Simple robbery.
Simple robbery. How do you simply steal somebody's shit?
It ain't simple.
What did you steal?
A wallet.
Wallet.
Yeah.
Have anything in it?
And actually, I didn't really steal it.
I know, nobody ever does.
No, nothing, not $1. Not $1.
So where's your legals? What parish? It was in Donaldsonville?
Yes, sir.
How long? I'd come to treatment too. But see, this is the crazy shit. You can come here and don't do what we say, and you're just putting off the inevitable. You have to go deal with that. Or you can come here and do what we say, and you ain't got to worry about that ever again. The question is going to be yours. I don't really need to talk to you right now. Not very happy with you. What's your first name? Have I had you before? Where are you from, Nicholas? Ascension? Whereabouts?
Prairieville,
What you use?
cocaine and alcohol.
How you doing the cocaine?
No,
You ever been to treatment? Why are you here? What happened? Something happened, huh? So you using cocaine and what?
alcohol.
Okay. What's your favorite liquor?
Crown.
Crown? Good shit. You could just do one. So you've never been to treatment, you just said, I want some help. You know, God works in people's lives differently in this one and then that one and then this one and then that one. But normally when somebody really wants some help, they're very, very sincere about it, you'll drop them right where they need to be. When did you get here?
Last Thursday.
I've had you before.
Yes, sir.
You didn't last very long.
2.5 years.
Where did I have you?
Apple.
Okay, so you hadn't been here.
It's my first time doing it.
Okay. So what year did I have you in Apple?
2019.
Where'd you go when you left?
I went to Carriage House for a couple days, and then I went to Fort Recovery.
Okay, all right, that's pretty. What happened?
I discovered loose women and methamphetamine.
I already knew about loose women, you just hadn't discovered them, but you knew about them.
They discovered me.
We'll have about 5 of them in here then.
If I can get them in,
So I see some things hadn't changed.
fortunately.
You know, when somebody comes to treatment, they quit carrying themselves the way they've been carrying themselves. I normally never see them in treatment again. Just saying. Somebody comes and they just get sober, but they stay the same way. They do the same shit. They carry themselves the same way. They don't have no choice but to use again. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's slower. First name? Skylar. Where you from? What you use? How? Then? Huh? You haven't been to treatment? Nothing like you. Huh? Did you finish Abbeville? What did they tell you to do? I didn't ask you that. I'm curious what they told you to do.
Make sure I go to IOP.
Make sure you go to IOP. They didn't tell you anything about steps? Did they tell you that? What happened? You didn't do a 4-step there? Wow. So where did you go? Where did you go when you left there? How long did you last there? That's about right. All right. The whole time you were there, that obsession was coming at your ass. Because you didn't do nothing when you was there. How was it? No, the using. Well, they did one thing. What's your first name?
John,
John? Where you from, John?
LaRose, Louisiana.
Okay. What you use? Together? Why? Don't one get you way up? Huh?
Sure does.
One get you way down? So they started just like, put you right there? You know what else will put you right there? How many times you been to treatment? What happened? Something happened then. Huh? So you volunteered to come get some help? So you want some help? Huh? No, in recovery. Been doing it over a little over 21 years. To this day, I still have to do shit I don't want to do. In recovery. Fight, go to a meeting and all. Pick up and go back out and use, guess what I'm gonna do? Shit I don't want to do. So one way or the other, if I stay in this recovery stuff, I gotta do shit I don't wanna do. If I go use again, I gotta do shit I don't wanna do. The difference is the results. But guess what you fixing to do one way or the other? That's right. You just gotta be wanting some different results. That's actually what runs people in here, is the results they've been getting out there. They're not too happy with it. I've never met one person come in here and say, yeah, you know, packing my bags to come here. And I said, you know, I think I'll go to Woodlake for 28 days. I ain't got nothing else to fucking do and shit's going marvelous. I've never met one person telling me that. Out of about 20,000, I've never met one person. What's your first name? Joshua? How old are you? About 9?
27.
Same thing. 9 and 27 is the same exact thing. Where are you from? All right. Well, hell, you got a little ways to truck if you walk. What you use? When you was actually 9, you was actually 9 years old. Did you ever think you'd be putting heroin and fentanyl on your body? Ain't that crazy? What genius turned you on to that shit? Probably how it goes.
I was addicted to mojo when I was in high school. They got out of school and stuff. And
You know what you addicted to more than anything? You know, bullshit.
I'm being serious.
I know, that's the scary part.
I was trying to kick that habit, so I picked up even worse habits.
I rest my case. Is this your first time in treatment?
I went to Abbeville like 6 months ago.
Did you finish it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I went to sober living. I've been working steps, so I just relapsed.
No, you had it. No, you did. You ain't did the first fucking one. No, you didn't.
Well, not all of them.
See, if you did, you're one unique individual. Because I've never seen anybody do the steps and use again. You don't complete them.
Well, I'm saying I didn't do all of them. I only got.
Well, I know you did.
Yeah, and then
You know which ones you missed? All fucking 12 of them. And I'm gonna prove that to you real shortly. What's your first name?
Nicholas,
Nicholas? Where are you from?
Homer.
You look familiar.
I've been to Abbeville like 4 times.
How many?
4 times. It's my 9th time in treatment.
Yeah, I'm starting to put some stuff together here about Abbeville here now. I'm starting to put some stuff together. Why you keep going to treatment?
For wrong reasons. Please everybody else.
Well, how well is that working?
Not at all. That I enjoy coming to these places, like I hate it.
So it's gotta be the other one then. Keep doing what you want to do. You know, it's crazy how self-will works. Somebody's running on self-will, they will believe some errant nonsense. Shit they know is wrong, but they will make themselves believe the shit they just did is okay.
Right. True, too.
I know I used to be a master at manipulation and delusion. And the one I manipulated and deluded the most was myself. What's your first name?
Steven.
Have I had you before? Man, it's hard to tell after about 25,000 of y'all. Where are you from?
Mom.
Okay. Where?
Oh, no.
What you use?
Checks out.
How many times you been to treatment?
Been to treatment once, and I've been in 3 different faith-based programs.
Where'd you go to treatment?
Odyssey House.
No, really, I said treatment. What faith base?
I did Fellowship Ministries in Holden. I did Bethel and Philly, and I recently just did 2.5 years at the New Orleans Mission.
You know, there's nothing wrong with any of those places. Have some beautiful people. They do. But they just don't have a clue. What people like me and you need. Let me ask you this, before you went to any of those faith-based places, how many times did you pass through the doors of the church? A bunch. Do you know the best-selling book that's ever been put on paper? Huh? Yeah. You know why? That is the most spiritual, truthful book that's ever been put on paper. You know the second best-selling book that's ever been put on paper? You know why? It's the second most spiritual, truthful book that's ever been put on paper. And God made that one people like me and you. Did you know that? Yeah. You want some help? What's your first name?
Brady.
What?
Brady.
I met you yesterday. Yeah. I want you to tell me the truth. How many times from yesterday till this morning have you said, I don't think this is far?
None.
Huh?
None.
Not the first
Not
time.
one.
Okay.
I don't like it, but I mean,
Well, most people don't like what's good for
right.
them. If you did like what was good for you, you wouldn't be here. Yeah. How old are you physically?
23.
23.
Mentally, I'm 42.
What?
Mentally, I'm 42.
The fuck you are. Mentally, you're like 3. Do you want some help? People that tell me they want some help. Right? Did they hear about the first hour or so in here? That's when I sort of tell if they really do or they don't. That's what we're gonna do here in a minute. Figure out if you really, really want some help. First name, young man. Hi. Ty? Where you from, Ty?
Originally from Floss, lived up in Little Rock, Arkansas for the
The
last 30
hell you say? Fuck, that's some of the best AA around. That's where I cut my teeth.
Really?
Yeah. You know anything about AA?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just fucking don't go?
But no, I didn't go when I was up there. I didn't have the issue.
Yeah. Little Rock's a hotbed. Yeah, man, they got some damn good AA up there. Got just as good as AA right here. Yeah. What you use? Just liquid? Okay. Have you ever been to treatment?
Yeah.
Where?
Safe Haven in Beverly Hills, California. Let them know that Russ.
You know, somebody that's been to places like you sort of just mentioned, go. You know, I wish it would have worked for them, they wouldn't here, but I'm so fucking glad they're here. They fixing to find out what real treatment's really about. Let me ask you something. those two places that you just told me about, did they tell you anything about being powerless over alcohol?
Yeah.
Are you powerless?
Yeah, in a way.
Why?
I go to it when
Why are you powerless?
life process suck, and I get powerless, I feel powerless over my life.
But why are you powerless over alcohol? I said, why are you? But why?
Why are you?
You don't know, do you? I know you don't. See, the places that you told me you went to, they don't fucking teach you nothing. And you know the crazy thing is, a place like this that actually lays it out for you, I gotta fucking like beg some of y'all to stay. It's just fucking crazy. Y'all go to these places that teach you absolutely nothing, but a place that teaches you something, y'all don't want to stay. It just blows my mind. Did you hear what I asked him since he's been here? How many times has he thought about leaving? And he said none. How many times have you thought about it? Be honest.
None. I mean, I want to go back to sober living where I was, but I mean, got pissed off about something. Slipped up one time, literally, but,
Yeah.
but I getting good treatment and people I was around and going to meetings. It was phenomenal.
But even the treatment centers you've been to, the sober living, you say good AA, you can't even tell me the first part of the first step. What sober living was you at?
Oxford.
Oh, God. What's your first name, young man?
Kendall,
Kendall? Have I had you before? Where are you from?
they call me that.
Home? I know where the cone's at. What you using?
Okay, and you,
How? You ever been to treatment? Why are you here? What, something happened?
bought myself here on my own. I know I needed help before it got out of hand.
But Kendall, you've been needing help for a long time.
So,
How long you been snorting cocaine and
I
drinking?
think about a year.
That's how long you been needing help.
Not even a year, I just come from being incarcerated 25 years flat.
Okay. Where did you serve your time? Let me ask you this. When you was in Angola,
That was you.
I know. I'm sure. Yeah. Now, did they have call outs out there?
Yeah,
And you went to
all the
I-
AA,
them? I know.
NA.
Ain't that some shit?
Alabama.
Now, when you was in there, everything you saw it did was to get out. Right? Right? And when you got out,
I was the wrong people.
but everything you did was to fucking go back. Ain't that crazy?
That's why.
Ain't that crazy though?
Yeah.
Huh? Now, I want you to check this out. When you get out, if you would do what you do when you in, you'd never fucking go back in.
You know what? I never touched cocaine again. I promise you that. I bought myself here. I thank God. I do.
I believe it. I actually believe that.
caught
I actually
myself just
believe
in
that.
time Before it got
But-
worse.
But let me ask you this. When you walked out the gate, did you have to sign some papers?
Oh, I did 25 years flat.
Say, no,
nothing.
nothing. But you knew, if you got caught with something like that,
Right.
it wouldn't be nice. You knew that,
That's why
but you knew that before you caught your head. So you already knew that. See? So what that tells me is, there's something going on up here. Something's going on.
Ain't nothing going on up in here.
Well, you have to have some thinking going on.
No, only thing-
You don't think?
Oh, no stuff. I ain't going to. One thing I just got with the wrong crowd
and this party, hey, it went on, then I went to.
Let me ask you this, bro.
It went on and on, and when I seen it before, I do go back where I.
What's the
came
wrong
from.
people?
I back.
What's the
People
wrong
places
people?
they think.
Huh?
People places they think.
Have never got you loaded. They've never got you loaded.
Yeah.
You know who got you loaded? You did.
Yeah, but you know what? When I look at it, I wasn't around that crowd.
But you knew that
I
crowd.
know it.
You already knew that, Brad. See, so what I'm telling you again, there's something going on up here.
Let me try. I want to party.
Yeah, okay.
Let me try
All
something.
right. Look, we can, I just don't have the time right now. But we could go back and forth, okay? But I'm gonna put it real simple. Anybody who ends up here, whether it's voluntary, whether they're forced to come, if you're here, something's up. Something's up.
I wasn't forced. I did it on my own.
I didn't say you were. You said that. Now,
I choose that.
how many of y'all, every time y'all get jammed up, every time you get jammed up by the legal system, by family, by finances, by work, by relationships, every time you get jammed up, this is what you say to yourself: I gotta quit using, because that's what you think it is. And I'm telling you, that ain't what it is. Do you have any idea why you sit where you sit? Do you? Huh?
Because I wanted to get clean.
Let me ask you this. When the consequences start piling up, right? Up here, do you say, I gotta quit using? I know, but up here, do you say, I gotta quit
Yeah.
using? Right? Because that's what you think it is, right? Now, how many times have you quit using?
Or again.
I didn't ask, I just said, how many times have you quit? I would say thousands. Because every time that you pass out at night, you quit. Right? Now, if you quit thousands of times, right? Every time you've ever quit, and you can quit, right? Is that fact or fiction? Every time you've ever quit, what do you eventually do? Start again. Is that fact or fiction? So we got two facts established. You can quit, and every time you do, you start. Right? Now, right now, are you quit? If some shit don't start changing, it's a fact. You've proven it over and over and over and over. You're going to start again. Any jackass in the world can quit you. I'll prove it to you. I will prove it to you. Did you use today? See? Quitting is the easiest thing for an alcoholic to do. Now, how many times have you quit? How many times? How many?
A million.
Yeah. Well, not a million, but you
Yeah,
ain't
right.
that old. You're only like 5.
Probably about 4 times a day.
How many times have you quit? Yeah. And every time that you quit, what do you eventually do? Now, I'm telling you, you ain't in here because of using. And if that's what you keep thinking it is, this won't work. Do you have any idea why you're sitting in here? Because you blame it on what? Drugs, right? What do you blame it on? Yeah. Look, most of us do until we get our head out our ass. But I'm telling you, the reason you're sitting in here, because you're a selfish, self-centered, self-seeking, inconsiderate, dishonest ass person. And if that don't change, guess what you will do again? Start. Now, the tricky part is to get you to see what I just said. Now, do you have a family?
Own kids and all that.
No, family. Mom and dad, kids, brother, sister. What you got?
Parents and my sister.
So you got mom and dad. How many sisters? 2? Do you have any children?
I think so, no.
Okay. All right. And where are you in the pecking order with the siblings? Imagine that shit. You got aunts and uncles? Okay. What you got?
4 sisters and a mom,
No kids. Where are you in the pecking order?
right in the middle, 2
Okay.
older, 2 younger.
Okay, what you got?
Two younger siblings, a mother and a son.
How old is your son?
Well,
Where is it? Really?
his mother,
Okay, what you got?
A mother and a younger sister.
No kids. Okay, what you got?
Question of how many?
Do you have a family?
Yeah, I have a family.
What you got?
Yes. Daughter and son.
How old is, start with the oldest child and go to the youngest.
Oldest daughter is 25, second daughter 13.
Okay, what else do you have family wise?
I got a brother that's, the oldest. I got a sister, 43, and I got a brother, 26, and I got,
All right, what you got?
4 brothers and a mother.
Where are you in the pecking order?
Second to the baby.
Okay, no kids.
4 kids.
Okay, what, you just wasn't gonna mention them?
yes, sir.
Boys or girls?
Boys and 2 girls.
All right, start with the oldest and go to the youngest.
17, 13, 11.
So the twins are how old?
11
Hey, boys or girls?
boys.
Okay, are they identical? Okay, what you got? Refresh my memory.
I have mom and dad, 2 sisters, and I'm in the middle.
No kids.
No kids.
What you got? You know, it's coming to me. Yeah.
I have a brother and a sister and a daughter.
How old is she? Where is she? Okay, what you got?
Sisters and a brother, older.
You're supposed to be a role model. Did you know that? Huh?
Yes.
You have any children?
Brothers and a son.
Start with the oldest and go to the youngest. Give me their ages.
15, 12, 6.
And where are they?
I'm from.
Right. And that's where LaRose? What you got?
I got a mom, 3 sisters, and a daughter.
How old is your daughter? Where is she? She's where? Okay, what you got?
Mom, a daughter, and a brother,
How old is your daughter?
12,
Where is she?
at home with her mom.
Okay, what you got?
I got a brother.
2 sisters and 6 kids.
Start with the oldest child and go to the youngest.
14, 12, and
I got a 9-year-old. I got a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old.
How many boys and how many girls?
1 boy, all girls.
Where are they?
All with their mom.
Zuck or mom? How many moms? What you got?
3 brothers, a sister, and a daughter.
How old's your daughter?
4.
And where are you in the pecking order? You're the oldest? Did you hear what I told him?
Just an example.
Yeah. What you got?
My sister, son.
How old is your son? Where is he? Okay. What you got, Kendall?
1 son and 1 daughter.
And how old is the son?
And a daughter 2.
2? Any siblings?
Got a mother, got a daddy.
Okay. You the only child?
Wasn't anybody deceased.
Okay, he's still your brother. Yeah. So that family that you told me about, do you love them? Huh? You?
Absolutely.
You?
Not lately.
It's yes or no?
No.
You? No. You? That's what you say out your mouth, huh? What your actions say, you do or you don't. All the way on the end. Tell me your first name again?
Justin.
Justin. Your mouth says yes, right? What do your actions say? Okay. What's your mouth say?
Mouth says yes, actions say hell no.
Okay. Look, we can go right on down the line. Y'all say a bunch of shit and nonsense out your mouth, and then you turn around and do the complete opposite of what you say. Now, where are you from, Kendall?
Cool.
Where are you from?
Very
Where are you from? Yeah. I'm from North Baton Rouge. And where I come from, when somebody says one thing out their mouth and they turn around and do the complete opposite, we call that being full of shit. And that's one of the reasons you're sitting in here. You're 100% bona fide full of shit. And the crazy part is you don't think you're full of shit. That's the crazy part. You a true believer in God? Huh? You? Yeah, that's what you say out your mouth. That what you say out your mouth? What do your actions say? That you are, you're not. What's your mouth say? Your actions? Look, if somebody asked you, okay, if you were a true believer in God, I believe that you believe that you are, right? What's a true believer to you? What's a true believer in God? Since you won, right? Tell me what one.
We believe in God, obedient, Lord tells him to do. The death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Well, let's say that's true, what you just said. Is that you? Really? Now, I'm a little slow, as you can tell. What you use?
I don't use it. I don't know why I took a pain for my ministry to continue, I gotta do with man's way of that. If I can go back to it.
You took a pain pill.
Yeah.
And that's why they sent you here?
Yeah, because I was actually deceitful. I could take them, but I had to let my leadership know. I didn't. I brought it in the dorm with me, and I just could have jeopardized all my brothers.
Right.
So that's selfish.
Right. Did you know a true believer in God doesn't believe in God? Did you know that? No, it's not. A true believer in God don't believe, they know. And they know what God can do, and they get their ass out the way and they let God direct them.
Get that?
Because anybody can believe anything they want, it don't make it true. If I believed I was a helicopter pilot, I've never fucking been in a helicopter. I've never even flown in one, but I believe I'm a helicopter pilot. Does that make me one? No. Just because you say it and believe it, don't make it true. You know what makes it true? Action. Now, here you are, sober, right? Right? Doing selfish, inconsiderate, dishonest shit. You just said it, I didn't.
Yeah, we all thought.
Now, sober, you're doing some messed up shit, right?
Hard making it.
You know, I keep hearing you make comments like that to me. And normally what I tell people like that is don't preach to me unless you live it. I can tell, that's why you in here. I know. I know. Let me ask you this. I sort of look at something like this. Look, you can close your mind all you want, okay? You can close your mind all you want. And the only one you're screwing is yourself. Okay? So go ahead and close your mind, but it ain't gonna shut me up. Now, I look at things completely different than you do, thank God. I look at somebody who's really not using, but still does inconsiderate, dishonest, selfish shit worse than somebody that's using. Because sober, they still do it. At least they got excuses. Now, I know since your mind's not open to hearing nothing and listening, you probably listened to nothing I just said. And that's okay, because they did. How many of y'all come in here and up here you think you something that you really not? And I'm telling you, I've been doing this a long time. And people who really love their families by their actions and who are true believers in God by their actions do not end up in here. So if you're in here, something's up with you. And it ain't what you think it is. Now, how many of y'all in here, y'all keep blaming everything on drugs and alcohol? That's what you blame it on. You never one time say, you know what? It's fucking me. It's me. You never say that. You never take responsibility for your own bullshit. Now, you keep blaming the drugs and the alcohol, and I'm telling you, you'll keep using drugs and alcohol. Have you ever been to treatment? If somebody asked you, hey, what do you think the steps are for? What would you say? Okay, that's what most people think. The steps have nothing to do with keeping you sober. Do you read okay? Read step 12, the first part of it.
Having had a,
Read it loud like when you was hollering for dope. Woo!
having had a spiritual awakening.
Don't say that as a. Look, read it just like it said.
All right. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result.
Don't say as a result.
As the result.
As the result. Now, read it backwards. Say these steps. Say these steps.
Step,
The result
the result.
of spiritual awakening. Now, I just told you what the steps were for. If you take them, there's going to be one result, and that's going to be
Spiritual awakening.
Now, did you come here with little jingle bells on your ankles going, woohoo, fuck, I get to have a spiritual awakening? No, you came here because drugs and alcohol have mangled you up and ran you up in here. Now, I'm telling you, you don't need help to get sober. You can get sober all by your damn self. You've done it, right? Now, staying that way, we know you can't do it on your own. And if you stay the way you are, you'll use again. You'll have no choice. Now, do you know what a spiritual awakening is? I know you don't. I just wanted to see what you would say. Look, a spiritual awakening means up here, you're going to change. And if you change up here, guess what you won't want to do? Every time you put the first one in your body, Every time. Are you sober or loaded? No. When you put the first one in. So sober, you do some crazy, insane shit. Sober, and that's put the first one in. Now, when you have the thought to put the first one in, does it come from your little toes or up here? Comes from up here in this box up. This box, if we don't get a rearrangement going up here, guess what you'll keep thinking about putting in? Look, how many of y'all in here? Y'all come in here and y'all say, you know, if I can just get sober, if I can just get sober, if I can just get sober. And that is the easiest thing in the world for you to do, is to get sober. How many of y'all, this is your first time in education? How many of y'all, this is your first little piece of treatment you've got since you've been here? And you are sober. So we didn't help get you sober. You got yourself sober. All on your own. Now, to stay that way, up here, some shit's got to start changing. Look, I don't care where you come from, what kind of background you got. It doesn't matter. If you stay the same up here, you've proven you can't stay. Right? I'm not telling you what you were taught is wrong. Did I tell you that? But that's sort of how you closing your mind and perceiving things. Now, what you did, what you've been taught ain't wrong. It ain't wrong. But I'm going to tell you, if just that would have worked, you wouldn't have did what you did. Y'all turn y'all's big book to page 62. Who does not have a big book? Raise your hand. So they gave all y'all big books? Yeah, they doing their job. What?
I'm joking.
Why are you gonna mutter some shit? If you got something to say, say it. I'd love for you to do their job.
I checked in, books, can I get one of those, because I was in here last year.
Okay. Did they give you one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One's all you need now. Let's see. Do you read okay? Huh? I want you to start reading. Look, when I ask you to read out the big book, okay? I want you to read it exactly like it says. I don't want you to change any word. Don't add any to it and don't take any out. Read it exactly like it says, okay? And I want you to read it loud. I want you to start the first paragraph down on page 62. I want everybody following along. Go. Page 62, the first paragraph down.
So,
Now.
selfishness,
Centeredness.
self-centeredness that we think is the root of our trouble.
Now, stop. What did it say was the root of your trouble?
Yeah, we think.
Self-centeredness.
What?
Self-centeredness.
No, read it.
Selfish, self-centeredness.
Okay, so what did it say was the root of your trouble?
Selfish, self-centeredness.
Not drugs and alcohol.
Correct.
Now, how many of y'all, before y'all come in here, this is what you think? Drugs and alcohol are the root of my trouble. So quite naturally, the only thing you try to change is the using part. You try to quit altogether, which fails and fails fucking miserably. You try not to get caught, which fails even worse. You try to use less. You try to use more. You try to use different shit. But the only thing you focus on is the using part. Now, do you watch golf? Yeah. Fucking me either. Have you ever seen golf on TV? They hit this little ball about 400 yards and they go find the motherfucker and they hit it again. I ain't never figured that game out yet. You ever seen a nice putting green? Huh? If a weed popped up in it and you went and snapped the weed off at the surface, what do you think would happen in about a week? Bigger end. If you went pull the root and everything up, would it come back? See, this is what y'all keep doing. Y'all keep snapping shit off at the surface. You quit using. And every time you quit, it comes back bigger and stronger. Every time. You'd ever get down to the root of what your trouble really is. And it's not drugs and alcohol. It's you. It's always been you. But you keep blaming it on other shit, other people and places and things. Because you don't want to work on yourself. Now, if you actually listen to what that book's trying to tell you, it will smack you right between the eyes. And I'm telling you, that book ain't got nothing to do with what you think it's got something to do with. Keep reading. Driven by.
Driven by 100. Driven by 100 forms of fear.
Stop. It says driven by. And boy, are you driven. How many of y'all in here fear you're going to lose something you already have? How many of y'all in here fear you're not going to get what your little selfish ass wants? And the biggest fear you got is people going to figure you out for the fake ass fucker that you really are. That's the biggest fear you got. Now, when somebody's driven by fear and fear alone, what the next thing in that book says that drives you is self-delusion. How many of y'all in here will do shit you know is wrong? But up here you will delude yourself into believing what you just did, it's okay. You are one of the most dishonest people that you know. And the one you're dishonest with the most is your damn self. And if you're dishonest with yourself, everything that comes out your mouth is a lie. And you know it. Deep down, you know it. Now, when somebody's driven by fear and self-delusion, the next one it says in that book is self-seeking. If you flip that word around, seeking self, how many of y'all don't care about nobody but your damn self? But you say out your mouth, I love my family. I'm a true believer in God. And you believe all that nonsense. Now, what that book says, when I'm driven by fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, how many of y'all screw up shit and screw up shit wrong? Then the last one kicks in, is called self-pity. Your damn bottom lip pokes out like that body in La Rose could ride home on it. Now, what does that book say you do when you're driven by fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity? Read it. What's it say you do? Go. Not you. You. Go. You. Right here. Go. Read it.
Okay.
We step
on the toes of our fellow.
Stop. It says you step on the toes of your fellow. Now, how many of y'all in this room right now, the same people you say you love the most out your mouth are the same people whose toes you step on the most? That little girl of yours, the one you say out your mouth you love, have you been stepping on her toes? Why? Because you drink and drug, or because you're a selfish, dishonest, inconsiderate person? Yeah, but you keep blaming it on what? Meth. I do too much meth. What would you do if he made your mama and your little daughter feel like you make them feel? What would you do to him? Ooh, ooh. You wouldn't stand for it, would you? If he did it, it would be a big damn ordeal, huh? And you could see it if he did it, huh? But when you do the same shit, you justify it, you rationalize it, and you make yourself believe some errant nonsense, don't you? And you know what your mother and daughter wish? That it was him and not you. But see, if it was him, you know what your mama would do? Get him away from her as far as she could, humanly and legally possible. But since it's you, if she does the same shit, she's screwed. You know that, don't you? See, how many of y'all in here, if somebody else did the same shit you do to your families, you wouldn't stand for it? It would be a big damn ordeal. It's crazy how the human mind works. We can make ourselves believe we've been rendered white as snow and everybody else is dumb as a box of rocks. Now, how many of y'all, when you're driven by fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, you step on people's toes? And what does that book say they do when you step on their toes?
Retaliate.
They retaliate. Now, how many times have you stepped on people's toes? They retaliated on you, and this is what you said. I don't know why they're doing that to me. I didn't do anything. See, people who care about you, people who love you, do not come up to you unprovoked for no reason and hurt you. You do something to set the ball rolling. And when you get the ball rolling, all you can see is what they did. You can't see what you did. How many of y'all in here, if the tables were turned and those people, your families, have been putting up with your bullshit for years, if you had to put up with their shit for 1 hour, you wouldn't do it? Would you? See, and the reason they put up with your bullshit is because they love you. That's why. Do you read okay? I want you to pick up where he left off. You step on their toes and they retaliate. Go.
Of our fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us seemingly without
Provocation. Looky here. It says, seemingly, we think people are doing it unprovoked. Now, when your head is shoved all the way up your butthole, you can't see nothing but the darkness of self. If you ever hear that pop, you know which pop I'm talking about? Huh? It's when your head exits your butthole and you start seeing the sunlight of the spirit instead of the darkness of self. You're going to start seeing things completely different. How many of y'all in here, y'all's head is so far up your butthole, you can't see nothing but self? That's all you can see. And the least little thing somebody does, this is what you do. Now, you may not do it exactly like that. Some of y'all do. But how many of y'all get mad as hell at people? How many of y'all, the same people who are there for you every time, are the same people you get mad at? Now, it says they seemingly, see, to you, seemingly do it unprovoked. Go. But we invariably find.
But we invariably find that at some time in the past, we have made decisions based on self.
On what?
Self.
You sure it says self and not cocaine? Huh? See, how many of y'all, before y'all come in here, if you read that book, you'd read it like this. I keep making decisions based on drugs and alcohol that later place me in positions to be hurt. Now, you love that little girl? Huh? That's what you say out your mouth. Huh? If you really did, every decision you make would be based on what's best for her and not you. Do you do that? If you really love somebody like you say you do, every decision you make is based on what's best for them and not you. Now, when you make decisions, sober or loaded, and you make decisions based on self, what you're going to do to yourself is take yourself and place yourself in a position to get hurt. And when you get hurt by your decision, you want to spin that shit around and blame everybody else for your decision. People, places, and things on Kendall. Not one time did you say it was me. Fucking me. Why you didn't tell me that? See, look, how many of y'all in here? Y'all think y'all keep making decisions based on drugs and alcohol. And I'm telling you, you don't. Hey, y'all look up here. I'll let y'all out in a minute. You keep making decisions based on self. Now, let's say you walk out this door sober. And that's the only thing that's changed. You're still an inconsiderate, dishonest, selfish person. You walk out of here sober. You will keep making decisions based on self. You'll keep placing yourself in positions to get hurt. And when you get hurt in rapid succession in early recovery, guess what you're going to have to put in you to change the way you feel? And when you put the first one in, we know his own. So you just walk out of here sober and see what the hell happens. What's sober? You ever heard of Charles Manson? He stayed sober almost 45 years. I don't know if I want to just be sober. Now, how many of y'all come in here and y'all go, I'm sober. I'm sober. What is that? Can you tell people, hey man, I'm changing. I've changed. And I don't find it necessary to put something in me to change the way I feel now. See, you can't say that right now, can you?
No.
If you do what we say, when you leave here, guess what you'll be able to say?
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly right. You know how I know that? Huh? Yeah, I proved it to myself. Not to anybody else.
Right.
Yeah. And you know how I proved it? You know what that book said? And I don't tweak it, and I don't make it fit me. I do what it says. Keep reading. We almost finished. Thank God.
So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making.
The hell you say. Read that again.
So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making.
Go. Keep going.
They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example of self-will run riot,
So,
though he usually doesn't think so.
see, you blame everything on. I use too much alcohol. I'm a meth head. How many of y'all in here have been listening to what these guys have been trying to read this morning? How many times did they mention drugs and alcohol? Not one damn time.
Right.
What? Self. Because that's why you sitting in here. And there's only one will that will correct self-will. Huh? That's right. But you got to get out the way and let it. Because guess what he'll do if you want to run on self? Yeah, but he will drop consequences on you along the way and try to bring you back home. No, not amen. That's fact. Now, I'm just saying it a little different than you're used to hearing it. But the truth is the truth. It does not change. Words change, truth don't. Now, what you got to figure out, I can't do it for you, is do you want some damn help? I can't do it for you. And I've had a lot of guys sit here and tell me they want help, and it's laid out for them. They don't do it. How many times have y'all had the opportunity to get your shit together? How many times? How many? How many? How many? And how many of y'all just shit on it?
Every time.
You may not have another opportunity. Do you know how it feels to have somebody else have your daughter call daddy? Huh? It's not a good feeling. And the way you heading, that's exactly what's going to happen. But you don't believe that, do you? No, you don't. How old are you? How old are you, Kendall? How old are you? How old are you? It don't matter if you're 23, 56, or 45. Your life can start over today. Today. Now, I want you to ask yourself, you guys that have been here, you guys that have just came in here, since you walked in the door, have you given this everything you got? Because if you hadn't, it won't work. Now, how many of y'all have said, I want to go home? Come on, be honest. How many of y'all said that? See, and we can't make you stay here. The only way we can make you stay here is if we get you interested in what we're doing here. That's the only way we're going to be able to keep you. But why did you come here if you don't want help? I don't get that. I don't get that. Because look, I'm telling you, if you get nothing else out of today, I want you to listen to this. If you just sit through here and go through the motion, it's worse than not even being here. So if you just sitting here going through the motion, I'm telling you, some of you guys that have been in here before and did that, was it worse than not being here?
Oh, yeah. Way worse. Yeah.
See, because believe it or not, we're going to give you enough information to either change your life or screw your losing days up for good. We screw your using days up? Huh? Well, how was it when you went out there last time? Better? Huh? Same? Worse. So did we screw your using days up? You're welcome. Now, if you stay with us, okay, I'm telling you, this is just the tip of what we're going to do in here. Today was just sort of a see really who was wanting to be here and who don't. Now, if I ask you, you staying?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Young gun? Yeah, well, don't be fucking too convincing about it. Let me ask you something. What were you using? Okay. You do know, if you leave here today, you will have no choice but to use again. You don't really realize that, but I do. Let me ask you this. Up to this point in your using career, have you been able to put it down and not pick it back up?
Just these past 6 months.
How many times have you said to yourself, I'm done, and then,
Every time.
yeah. And you can't not quit picking it up? Now, can you? The point comes at some point in time where you pick it back up. Now, since you've been here, has anything really changed with you? I would say not no, but hell no. So if you walked out of here today, the same person that walked in, you ain't gonna have no choice but to use again. You've proven it. Now, how old are you? And you're using what? You may not have this opportunity ever again, my boy. They dropping like flies out there.
Over here.
Comments?
I mean, it's really something like here. You said that, we use behind fears of losing something we already had. That's just crazy. I mean, that's it. If you ever heard false evidence appearing real? Like, we really are scared something ain't even happening.
We or you?
Me. Myself.
All right.
The people in this book, the people in this book talking about.
When you say we, I go, we must have a rat in his pocket.
I get it. But sometimes, you can say y'all and stuff, but I don't know.
Look,
I get it.
what you just said, that part, most people don't get it. So I would say you're well on your way if you got that little part. Because fear will drive a person. It will dominate a person, and it will insist upon ruling their life if they let it. Question?
I got one statement though. I guess what you're getting at the whole time for Leo, there's no understanding that we're using till we have a problem, but we stop using this to have the problem, so we have to deal with the problem. Or
Look, do not get me wrong. Is drugs and alcohol a problem?
yeah.
Huh?
No.
Absolutely. Are they the root of your trouble?
No.
No, they never have been. Don't confuse what I'm saying. Okay? Anybody else? Y'all ready to smoke about 32 cigarettes? About to pass. Y'all get ready to roll up. Hey, fellas, y'all can sit up and look for me, please?
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. For you? Good place.